Aloha, it is Dave Lawrence, and what a special occasion this is. I have a down-to-earth guy, a legend who is actually a very common guy and someone who you can relate to because of his music and the way he delivers it. Johnny Winter, and he's joined me here in Honolulu for a live interview on HPR. Aloha, thank you so much for taking some time for me, Brother Johnny.
Oh, sure, Dave.
It's a real thrill to get to talk with you, and thanks again for the phoner that we did recently. One of the things that, after listening to that last interview, I kind of wanted to follow it up by what didn't I ask him? I re-listened to it, and I thought, I don't want to waste my time with him. So one of the things that I was hoping at this point in your career especially, if you could just think back and try to give credit to the people that you think first inspired you to play, who some of those key figures are, and why.
Muddy Waters was one of my big influences. I just loved Muddy. I thought he made the best blues records anybody ever made. Robert Johnson was the best Delta player. T-Bone Walker was great. B.B. King, Buddy Guy. And loved harp players too. Little Walter was unbelievable. I learned a lot from Little Walter. And Bobby Blue Bland had a great guitar player named Clarence Solomon I learned a lot from.
And so you were really, I'm trying to picture this, a kid appreciating the blues. That's what you were drawn to as a young, how old were you that you were connecting that like that with blues?
First started hearing blues when I was about 12, I think, on the radio.
So you had already done the ook playing and were already well on the ukulele, and then the blues came later. It came second.
Exactly.
So the guitar came with no blues first. What was the songs that were the kind of music that you were doing both on the ukulele and then when you switched to guitar?
On the ukulele, I was doing mostly songs that my father taught me, songs like from the 20s and the 30s.
And then when you hit 12 and moved to the guitar, is that when the blues arrived? Did the guitar and the blues come simultaneously?
Pretty much, yeah. I started out playing rock and roll and R&B. You couldn't play really blues for white people. White people didn't want to hear it.
And you were drawn to this music and never, the whole racial identity thing, I've heard you talk about it so many different times, and how it made you really proud that you were accepted when you could get up on stage like that time at BB's concert playing Lucille. Try to share whatever memories come to your mind of that time as a young guy, getting to hold BB's guitar, his famous guitar.
Very, very exciting, because I'd always loved BB, And I just really wanted for him to hear me play and see if he liked me or not.
Your own little audition.
Yeah.
And he was watching. Do you remember looking over at him while you were holding Lucille?
Oh, sure, yeah.
What is the look on his face like?
Well, he told me when I got through, he said, you just keep doing that, you're going to be successful someday.
Oh, that's incredible. He's coming here later in the month, and if I get an interview with him, I'm going to mention that we talked about him.
Oh, great.
Any message I can give him from you?
Tell it, I love him.
Right on, man. That's the best message to tell anybody for sure, brother. Jimi Hendrix, you got to share the stage with him several different times. How do you appraise him as a guitar player, Johnny?
He was one of the best guitar players there's ever been. One of the best blues guitar players there's ever been.
Did you think he was creative? What was it?
Very, very creative. He played stuff nobody else had ever played before.
Did you get to spend time ever with him picking his brain?
Yeah, he didn't talk much, though. He liked to play, but we didn't talk very much.
Did you guys party?
A little, yeah.
A little bit here and there. And there's that famous recording I know you've said you're not on it, that one from New York.
I'm not on that. It's horrible.
What a lot of press you get for that.
I know, and I hate it because it's just awful stuff.
It is. I've listened to that.
It's horrible.
I've tried to, and Morrison, he's out of control on that.
No, he's so drunk he doesn't know where he is.
Can you believe the stuff he's saying? He's dropping
No.
language that you wouldn't hear back in the 60s.
No, he was saying horrible stuff on stage.
When your brother, in 1972, I guess it was, released Frankenstein, to me that's one of the hardest, baddest-ass rock tunes. What did you first think when that tune dropped? I'm just curious.
I loved it. It started out, he wrote it because he was playing in the band, and he wrote it as a double drum solo song. And I played it on guitar instead of him playing on a synthesizer.
That's just such a ripping jam. I was curious. So you liked it right out of the gate, huh?
Oh, yeah, I liked it right from the first. And he completely changed it all around when he did it on synthesizer.
So that what you first heard was so very different, but he kept the drum solo bit in there, which is legendary for even getting on the radio.
Well, we just called it the double drum solo song. It didn't even have a name.
Wow, that's cool.
Frankenstein, because he put it together from so many pieces of tape.
I had heard of that. I heard that, right. So many different sections all assembled. It was a Frankenstein.
Yeah, it was.
In 1974, you did a jam with two really huge cats in one time. I'm wondering, because your memory is pretty good on stuff. It was Stevie Wonder and Dr. John.
Yeah, I do remember that.
What was the occasion, and how did that come to
Don't really remember. I remember doing it, but
Bottom Line in New York?
it was the Bottom Line.
And you do remember being on stage? What did you do with them?
I don't remember what we did. Don't remember.
What a great honor, though.
Oh, yeah, I loved both those guys.
Only time ever with jamming with either, or did you do more jamming with them?
More what?
Did you ever get to play with Stevie Wonder or Dr. John other than that?
I played with Dr. John a lot. I met him before either one of us made it in New Orleans. We were both playing on Bourbon Street. He was still Mac Rabenak.
Right, yeah, the Night Tripper, before he was the Night Tripper, really.
Right, before he was Dr. John.
Right, pre Night Tripper. How did you first get the chance to do the Muddy Waters records, which ended up being pretty important for both of your careers?
It was. There was a guy named Ronald Lexenberg at CBS that came up with the idea, and I loved it. My manager loved it. Muddy and his manager loved it, so they asked me if I'd be wanted to do it, and I said, of course I would. I'd love to.
What a cool thing to get to do.
I always loved Muddy, so getting to work with somebody that you really was one of your big heroes, was fantastic. And his records weren't very good. After he left Chess, GRT didn't know what to do with him. They made that horrible Electric Mud crap. And he just wasn't making good records anymore. I knew he was capable of it.
Mixes too were not done nearly. It was like the clarity of the records you did with him, I think, is also something you're going to be commended with.
Well, I had a good time doing it.
I bet you did, dude. I bet you did. What's an enduring memory of getting to spend time and work with him would be?
Well, he made me gumbo one afternoon. That's better than music.
Getting to hang, the personal time. I can relate to that totally. As a guy who's traveled the world and seen probably some really nice clubs, but also some big venues, you've seen a potpourri, a lot of different kinds of spaces. What are the ones that stick out to you as making you feel good when you're there?
I like little places better. Of course, the big places, Woodstock was the biggest we ever played, but I'd rather play 300 or 400 people places where you're closer to the people.
Sure.
You reach more people on the big ones, but it's just more fun when you're closer.
Easier to connect.
Yeah, if you can see what they're doing and what they're thinking, and
look right at
it. Yeah, it's a lot more fun for me.
And is there a venue with that in mind that just sticks out? Like a place that you're like, oh, I love going to, and I'll just throw in like BB King's in New York, or
always like BB's, but I don't really have a favorite place.
And that's fair. That's cool. I just ask because sometimes people are like,
whenever people are having a good time, I like it.
And that's cool. You take the party with you is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, we do.
For guitar fans, what kind of rig are you using on the road in terms of the guitar, the pedals, and the effects or amps?
Well, it's a Music Man amp with 410s, 120 watts. And I play a laser for my regular car and a Gibson Firebird for the slide. And I have a Boss chorus pedal.
And is there any advice that you would have to anyone with picking up a first guitar, someone who really wanted to learn how to play the blues? Is there something that comes to mind as like a better thing to use or not?
Just listen to as many different blues artists as you can. Don't just pick one because you're going to sound like him. Listen to as many different people as you can and practice and play as much as you get a chance to.
I've always been curious about this. Why did your dad get you guys ukuleles and not banjos?
He played banjo himself. I think ukulele was my idea, but he played the banjo himself. He didn't play a ukulele.
Right, because I would think, if he had handed it to you, it would be a banjo.
Yeah, that's what he played. But I like the idea of a ukulele better.
Isn't it strange? All these years later, you and I we're here in Hawaii talking together, and that's where that instrument came from. That was your first instrument.
Yes, it was.
Do you play the one that you got on your last trip?
No, once in a while. Not very often.
When you're around the house, what do you do when you're not doing music?
Watch TV and hang out with my wife.
What do you like on the TV?
Oh, I love The Simpsons, King of the Hill.
Every week, do you watch them?
Every week.
And how about news?
I've watched news.
Does what's happening in the world scare you at all when you see all this?
Right, it does. Sure it does.
What it is
nothing we can do about it, though. You can just watch it and say, well, man, how can this be happening?
Do you see more crazy stuff happening right now, or is it just me? Does it seem like there's...
It's definitely a lot crazier than it was. A lot crazier. There's people out there that don't have a clue of reality and don't care about it. Oh, it's scary as hell.
So I am right. So it is. It's like an increasing. There's like a confluence of bad stuff happening.
Oh, sure.
Just making sure I wasn't. I just.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean, just to feel the historic
Of
perspective.
course I know what you mean.
As I wrap this up, when was the last time you got ink?
It's probably 20 years ago. I started out when I was 40 years old and kept going until I was about 50. So it's been a good while.
And what was the last tattoo?
I don't remember. I don't remember. My first one, but not the last.
What was the first one?
First one was that star there. That first star.
Wow. Johnny's
New York did that.
Say that again?
Spider Web in New York did that.
Did he do any others?
Yeah, he did that one, that star also. He did this one, but he screwed it up pretty bad. He was all drunk when he did it.
Never let the tattoo guy have too much to drink.
No, well, I was drinking too, so I didn't have such stuff to tell him to stop.
And two final questions. One, why Connecticut? Why did you choose to live in New England?
It's close to New York. I lived in New York for 28 years, and my wife was really tired of the city. And I was kind of getting tired of it too, so we decided we'd kind of move out where it was a little nicer.
But yet staying near New York, so there's some love for New York that
You
stays.
can get to New York easy, but Connecticut's a lot nicer.
Yeah, brother, I lived in Boston for 12 years, so I know the boogie. I can relate. I was like, so you still have your love for New York. I like that.
Oh yeah, I still like New York.
And then a final question.
Live there.
I'm sorry?
Wouldn't want to live there anymore.
Well, you've done it. Been there, done that.
Been there almost 30 years. So
Yeah,
I've had enough of New York.
You did it. That's the key. I mean, 30 years in the city.
Yep.
That's a long time. A final question, and then I'll let you get on with your night. When you think of you've had a lot of people that you've gotten to work with, you've interacted with a lot of people professionally. Do you have anyone you aspire to work with you've still not gotten to be around?
No, I've worked with everybody that I'd like to, except the people that are dead.
So no one left.
Nobody left that I really want to work with that I haven't already worked with.
Wow, a man has achieved a lot. Johnny, I appreciate it very much. I hope this wasn't too much of a hassle.
Wasn't trouble at all. Loved it.
You did.
Oh, yeah.
It has meant a lot, and a big aloha to you.
Same to you. Aloha, this is Johnny Winter, and you've made a great choice. You're tuned to the only show that matters. My friend Dave Lawrence. Aloha, this is Johnny Winter. You're tuned to my friend Dave Lawrence. I'm finally getting to say these magic words. Hey, Brother Dave, have a happy 420.